Well, good evening. Welcome into another game in another round of the Sales National Basketball League presented by GJ Gardner Homes. And tonight we join you from the home of the Taylor Bay Hawks. It is the Hawke's Bay Hawks up against the Go Media Otago Nuggets. Two teams very close to each other on the ladder. Two teams very much with aspirations of post-season action. Andrew Dewhurst with you alongside Casey Frank. Casey, a lot of talk will be about the big man, the triple-double, Sam Timmins. Can he come to town here in Hawke's Bay and do some damage?
Most definitely. You know, the way he's been playing this season, he is everyone's #1 circled opponent on this squad, and he has a lot to carry on his shoulders against an extremely talented Hawke's Bay Hawks side who just got players every which way that can score from all over the court, and they still got more to come.
And two teams, am I right, that very much can contend if they get to the top four?
Yeah, I think the Otago Nuggets have surprised some teams and surprised some people in the way that they've been playing at the high quality they have, but they certainly, with the players they have, proved it.
Let's have a look at the Hawke's Bay Hawks, of course, coached by Kane Hokianga at the moment. So their head coach is still over in Australia. Starting five out of this group, Vague, Walker, Rusbatch, Harris and Raukawa. We're told that Everard Bartlett, Daryl Jones and Arthur Trousdale will not suit up tonight. So they're a little lighter on the bench, but they still have the heart and soul of their team together. Let's hear now from their head coach, Kane Hokianga.
I'm here with the coach of the Taylor Hawks, Coach Kane Hokianga. Kane, team's back on the winning streak. You got the Nuggets coming in, really strong team. One game between you. What do you think going to be the keys to get the victory tonight?
When we watched the Nuggets versus Canterbury, Timmins was super impressive. So we're definitely going to take care of him, try and limit his touches as much as possible. He's a bit of a threat from the perimeter in terms of his passing. So making sure we put some pressure on there and making sure we take care of him down the posts. Alongside him, Isaiah Moss is a pretty deadly threat from the three-point line. So we're just got to be locked in on him and make sure we take care of him out there.
Awesome, man. You got one more piece to the puzzle to come along. Jared Kinney is a big piece, in my opinion, JK. You know, good captain and good leader on the team. When can we expect him back? And, man, that's going to be some decisions around that starting five when he gets back, to be honest.
Yeah, most definitely. So we're hoping that Jared joins us next week. And when he does come in, straight away he's just going to make sure his presence is felt. The type of guy he is, the type of player he is, all of that is going to be more than welcome. So, yeah, we're looking forward to having him.
Awesome, Coach. Hey, Coach Kane, good luck for tonight, man. I know it's going to be a battle, but I know the boys are up for it.
Here we go, our very own Clifton Bush catching up with Kane Hokianga as he has a final word with his starters. We have a look at the roster for the Go Media Otago Nuggets. Head coach, of course, is Brent Matahare. They are a team, as Casey Frank has described, maybe surprising a little with some of their results, but they rely on such a key core of players. Their starters, Moss, Roger, Aitchison, Timmins and McKay. And Coach Brent Matahare also caught up with Clifton Bush.
All right, I'm here with the Otago Nuggets coach, Coach Brent Matahare. You know, your team's been going really well, man. You're on a roll right now. What do you think going to be the victory to get the win in the Hawks' Nest tonight?
Yeah, well, the Hawks' Nest, obviously, it's going to be really tough. I mean, you know, back here when I played, it was really exciting, and, you know, a lot of fans come out to watch. And so, yeah, I think we've got to make sure we stick to our own stuff and work really hard. And I'm not sure a one-game winning streak is going well, but, you know, obviously, you know, we're happy with where we're at, and we're just looking to do the best we can and ensure we put on a show tonight.
And the big fella, Sam Timmins, triple-double last game. I think the only big man ever had that last was in the 80s, and that was Willie Burton, and he's in the building tonight. So you think the big fella can pull off another triple-double tonight?
I'm happy if he just plays the way he wants to play and enjoys himself. He's got a smile on his face. We're going well.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck for the game. And also, I want to send a shout-out to one of the most famous fans of all time, Stephen from Dunedin. Come all the way down the trip to watch the game for you.
Yeah, no, he's a great supporter.
Awesome, Coach. Good luck.
Brent Matahare with those thoughts, and the game just getting underway. So we've missed 20-odd seconds and one basket for the Nuggets as the Otago side through Aitchison.
Faster questions next time, Cliffy. This is ridiculous. We're here to see the game, not listen to your pregame interviews.
Yeah, I mean, can you send him a message, Casey?
I think I'm going to have to.
Quick message down. And
shout outs to Stephen and Newton. We're missing game time, but regardless, the Otago Nuggets are coming with some fast break action early.
Yeah, and McKay can't make it sick, though. And another opportunity for Moss. Back to McKay. It's two-man basketball at the moment. That's all they need, just two guys.
Well, nobody else wants to run down, but Jeremy McKay, he's been a fantastic addition to this Nuggets squad. He really has become their glue guy and a physical presence for them down low.
Now, I just want to now, because otherwise I will forget, that Timmins with a block. So this guy's doing it all this season in the Sal's National League. And McKay on the fast break, and this is a fast start for the visitors.
Yes, offense from defense, no D on that one. For Hiram Harris gets a free look, but when Sam Timmins is blocking shots out into transition like that, it makes the Nuggets a vastly different offensive team.
And it was Timmins that I was kind of going to refer to. Clifton Bush saying it might have been, did he say Willie Burton? Willie Burton, but we think Dylan Boucher may have had a triple-double.
Definitely Dylan Boucher had some triple-doubles. I think Cliffy might be talking about actual bigs, but personally I wouldn't call Stephen Willie Beeman a big myself. He was more in that 4 spot. Not a lot of big men, not a lot of centers with triple-doubles at all.
And Timmins, of course, so integral to this Nuggets lineup. He's literally half a point per game behind Isaiah Moss, and as their leading 2 scorers, he leads in rebounds, he leads in assists. He's been doing it all, and has missed just the 1 game so far this season.
Yeah, he's been playing well. I think he's really yet to be tested by some of the other bigs that we've seen in the competition. The second free throw is hit there and cuts the deficit to 4. But I was really looking forward to some matchups against Jack Salt. That hasn't eventuated yet. He's missed out on Ty Wynyard when he was out with injury 1 game. But he has done a great job of dominating the guys that aren't up to his level in size.
Aitchison looks for the corner 3. Well, on that note, Casey, is there anyone here on the Hawks lineup that can match him? I mean, is he going to have it all his own way here tonight?
I think physically down low, he's a bigger, stronger guy than anybody that the Hawks have, as Jordan Hunter hasn't joined the team yet, with rumors that Jordan Hunter may not be coming across the Tasman after all. And if that's the case, it's up to guys like Jordan Hunt and John O'Jansen. They're going to have to play outside themselves and use their quickness to try and counter his size.
Does Hiram Harris get pushed into that job as well, as a triple is made here for the Hawks?
Oh, a really nice shot there by Reese Fade. It's possible, but I wouldn't want Hiram Harris trying to guard him down low, although he does have the strength and toughness to really bother Sam.
Timmins with that passing range as well. Moss, you've got to look after the American, because he will score if he's given half an opportunity. Timmins, instinctive look at the basket, no good. Hiram Harris with the rebound. He is such a glue guy, Harris. He can do everything as well. The Hawks trying to go back-to-back with triples. That one in and out. Foul called here. I think Harris taking one for the team, perhaps, trying to stop yet another fast break. Richie Roger will inbounds here for Nuggets, one of their real role-playing guys, and Timmins finds him on the cut, but can't finish with the left hand.
Really nice pass there, but you got to finish that one. Sam Timmins created the opportunity. See why he got 10 assists the other night.
Vague steps in, passes out. Rusbatch, look out. In and out again. Harris all alone under the hoop, though. Vague with an up fake and a second look, and he says thank you very much. Reese Vague started hot.
You got to know about him as a 3-point shooter. The Nuggets are going to have to force him off the line and extend their defense considerably.
Yeah, he's been a great pickup, hasn't he? Especially if Hunter doesn't make the trip. Reese Vague is going to be crucial. Timmins, that's a turn on, then he lost the handle, just lost the basketball, but so big again, he can scramble, get it back. And Hawks base somehow survived that possession.
Sam Timmins doesn't look locked in as he has recently, as we see another triple go up by Ethan Rusbatch. Quick transition to offense there, but Timmins a little loosey-goosey early in this one, and he has to be on point to get this Nuggets team a victory this evening.
And after a slow start, the Hawks have responded. And they are a team that can shoot the 3. McKay down low, foul called on Harris.
This is an 11-0 run by the Hawks. They've done a fantastic job of responding, especially 3 of those triples, really finding the range from deep.
Second personal, though, Casey, for Hiram Harris. That's a concern. So he has an early trip to the bench.
Well, they're fortunate in that forward position that they have some other guys they can call on. John O'Jansen, the first man off the bench. Still have Jordan Hunt to be called on, who applied his trade up in Cairns this year and was, of course, the MVP of the Showdown final last year, leading this Otago Nuggets team to a victory.
Yeah, Jordan Hunt, you would think, has to be knocking on the door of a spot in the starting five. Got some riches, that's for sure, have the Hawks. And we've hardly mentioned Devondrick Walker so far in this one. There he is. Sends Aitchison the wrong way. Raukawa from the corner, no good. Always looked a little too far towards that glass.
Really nice offense played there, swinging the ball around. Good open look, but solid defensive recovery on the glass.
Timmins does not get loose with that one, Casey Frank.
Really nice creation by Isaiah Moss there. A tough angle to thread the needle and get it in there, but he does so and delivers it on a platter for the Timmins finish. Jansen wide open in the corner there. Sam Timmins not respecting that jump shot, but that's one I'd be looking for more opportunities of on the Hawks.
Jeremy McKay for Timmins, a long way from the basket here though. Bullies his way down that baseline, but again, it's not a percentage finish.
Nice physicality being shown by the Hawks early. That's what you got to do with Sam Timmins. Knock him out of his comfort zone.
There he is,
knocks
another
a
block.
shot out of the sky.
2 already in the opening 5.5 minutes.
Blocking shots like I block spam emails in my inbox.
If that's the case, he's definitely gone triple-double here with the blocks maybe on the stat sheet. McKay.
Stepped up the sideline. Yeah, he just didn't find the range there. A little tight on the edge. Aitchison and McKay are having words about that as well as they head to the bench. For the Otago Nuggets team, doesn't look like the smoothest of seas at the moment for the Nuggets. A little disagreement in between teammates.
He's been good though, hasn't he, McKay? He's sort of come in unheralded, not a big name, not coming out of the NBL, but he's been good. There's our referees Ryan Jones, Hayden Fife and Callum Welsh, but McKay's just one of those guys, can contribute in different areas.
Well, he was sort of the last cut for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix when Yanni Wetzel came back from Spain after getting out of his contract with the Phoenix and became available again. McKay was that unlucky Phoenix member who got sliced from the squad, and that opened up the opportunity for him to come over early to Otago. And Coach Matahare and the Nuggets franchise have had nothing but great things to say about him and his effect that has been on the team. And I've seen him in person a few times, and he plays with a really good level of physicality. He's not the best athlete, but his strength really enables him to play inside and bang with some of the bigger fellows around the competition.
The story of this opening 6 minutes or so is that the Hawks are shooting from deep. They are 3 of 7, and the only other scoring is a couple of free throws, whilst the Nuggets are relying on shots from inside the arc. They're 4 of 10 from 2-point range, and by contrast they are 0 of 4 from 3-point range. So the Hawks, when you've got a team that has the likes of Vague, of Rusbatch, Raukawa, yeah, they have got guys that will get their spots and look to shoot those threes. Jansen is also capable in that regard.
Kevin McBurdy-Griffin with the early check-in for the Nuggets. A young fella who's just finished high school and is committed to UC Irvine in the States, so we'll be heading over to play some NCAA basketball.
Where's UC Irvine, Casey?
That is in Los Angeles, Irvine, California. So good choice. I tell all the kids who are trying to get to the States, go somewhere warm. That's choice number 1.
Rusbatch sends one defender flying past. It was Luke Aston, who's a reasonably late addition. I think he's had one game already where he's suited up for the Nuggets, but he's out there for them. Timmins, he'll play big minutes, so has to manage. Oh goodness me!
Does that look like it might have been a net touch by Aston? I think Nuggets are lucky to have that basket count, but a lovely piece of touch zone by Sam Timmons. As Jordan Hunt, who checked into the game, tried to body him off the baseline, but couldn't keep him from the shot, only incurred the foul and giving Timmons the opportunity for the three-point play. He converts the three-point play the old-fashioned way, cutting the deficit to 2.
Ron Ralkawa, who started the campaign in very good fashion. They picked up an injury. I think it was a good old-fashioned cork, a Charlie in the leg, and I think that just slowed him down a little, but he'll be looking to re-find his spark. Very much a word that describes his game. He's just so busy, so full of energy. Nice little fake there from Jordan Hunt.
Sam Timmons jumping at eyebrows. Jordan Hunt didn't even really up fake at all. He was still able to clear some space for the finish.
There is Aston, and that's his game, isn't it?
I think probably a bit of a heat check considering the guy hadn't had a shot yet, but well covered, still bangs it home, and a sorely needed triple by the Nuggets.
Ralkawa, he stops short as soon as he sees the shadow of Sam Timmons. Goes into contact, and no whistle, banks it home, and Ralkawa says, how about a +1 on that?
Yeah, I think he created that contact. A good no call in my respect, but a lovely piece of touch zone. Watch it. Speaking of, oh my.
Wow, that would have been one for the highlight reel. As it is, it ain't making the cut. Timmons unable to jam it home, but athleticism, good pass. McBurney Griffin blocked there. Jansen getting a hand in his face.
Jansen's really been a key player and pickup for this Hawke's Bay team, showing off why.
Devondrick Walker, there's a lot of players asking a lot of questions of the referees in the opening quarter.
That looked like a foul there by Ruakawa, but he gets away with it and stops the break nicely by knocking it out of bounds. And a little bit of body contact, and no avail. As we see Clifton Bush Jr. checking into the ball game. He's been struggling with some sore knees this year, hasn't gotten on the practice court as much as he'd like, but certainly a very talented player, bright future if he does the work.
This one looking as we thought it might, to be a very close encounter between two teams. They're neighbours on the ladder right now. McBurney Griffin, he backs in, and he shows good strength. A young man with a real future in the game.
He's a stellar young player, and I misspoke. It's Clifton Bush III, because Clifton Bush Jr. is his father. So Clifton Bush III. Got to get all three in there.
Rusbatch.
He is hot.
And you just know when it feels good out of the hand, he just holds that pose.
He has been looking to get a little bit more active. He's struggled with some injuries himself this season. Not at 100%, but that jumper is looking at 110% at the moment.
Timmons on Hunt. Oh, just leads him a merry dance.
A really nice footwork. Does an excellent job of clawing his way ever closer with each of those fakes until the finish is all but guaranteed.
So this is good from both teams. Punch and counter punch, and there's another punch from Rusbatch.
Hot. And gives him the Hawks the opportunity for the 2-for-1 as he hits his 4th triple of the ball game. Get this guy the rock. He needs more shots.
Nuggets, what have they got in response? It's the Hawks now leading by 5. Timmons, that's not a good look.
Don't like that shot at all. You know, he's been dominated inside and just completely lets the Hawks Bay defense off the hook and gives them the last shot with plenty of time.
Devondrick Walker, he's just been distributing really. He's had one drive at the basket I can recall where it looked like he might have been fouled. Is it a triple to finish the quarter? No. Jansen can't make it, but the Hawks have made enough, and they lead by 5. It's a bit of a shootout here in the Hawke's Bay, and it is the home team, the Taylor Hawks, that lead it by 5 over the Go Media Otago Nuggets. 24-19.
There's a lot to be said about you Kiwis. You like breaking new ground? best in your field? Stand up for what you believe in. But when it comes to pizza, you can't beat authenticity. Sal's Authentic New York Pizza.
Sal's National Basketball League proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes, and we got ourselves a good game and prospect here. Casey Frank, what do you like out of the first quarter? The obvious stat is the three-point shooting of the Hawks, led by Rusbach.
Well, they're attacking the zone as they should, and they're going to force the Nuggets to come out of that zone defense and play some man-to-man basketball, which should open up some driving lanes for the likes of Walker and Ruakawa. For the Nuggets, not a lot of production outside of Sam Timmons at the moment. He needs a little bit of help. Isaiah Moss has just not had any looks. He's got 3 shots and hasn't made any of them, so really looks to the Nuggets to try and get him a little bit more involved as their leading scorer.
Yeah, and in fact, kind of curious, the two guys that are there marking each other right now, Moss and Walker, not having much of a say in this one. Walker will be the much happier, though. He's just dishing them off for the likes of Rusbach.
Yeah, Walker doesn't need to get it involved right now. I think Moss is a different story. If he's not scoring well, the Nuggets really don't have a lot of answers offensively, where this Hawks team is deep and options everywhere, as is that one. Had it gone. Heat check. Why not? He's 4 for 7, now 4 for 8 from the three-point line.
The pass makes its way through to Rusbach, loses the handle. I think he was a little surprised to see that bounce pass make its way through. Is this the response to the commentator?
No, there it is. Nice find in transition by Richie Rogers. Isaiah Moss does a good job of spacing out and hitting it in transition before the defense can set, because I think they're really concentrating on him in the half court.
Hiram Harris saw he could have gone to the basket, maybe.
That's Timmons, intimidating everybody from out that's driving in.
Changing shots that haven't even been made. Hunt from the corner. And wow, Walker just absolutely smashes that into Vague. And no surprise, Vague didn't even know it was coming, let alone try and control it. There's a foul called here. Rusbach reaching in.
Bit of a cheap one there on old Ethan Rusbach, but stops the play before Timmons gets a chance to take advantage of the mismatch.
Moss, too far from the spot, just made that three. Well shut down as Aitchison makes one from the other side of the floor. They too, the Nuggets, they too have players that can get hot from outside.
Seemed like a bit of a force for me from Aitchison there, but he hits it, so it's all well that ends well.
There's another example there of Timmons intimidating.
Really needed to hit McKay on the break there. Missed an opportunity for 2 points and turns into nothing because of it.
Nuggets have taken the lead. Vague tries to take it back and does.
3 for 3 from the three-point line. Reese Vague hasn't missed a three-pointer yet. Hasn't missed a shot at all, actually. 9 points for him in just over just under 8 minutes. He is playing fantastically well.
Well, I didn't do enough homework. I haven't come into the game knowing who's leading the three-point shooting in this round, but the Hawks are absolutely looking like that's going to be irrelevant. We'll just take whatever their number is tonight to win the $500.
Yeah, they're looking like they've got a good shot at it, certainly at this point. They are on fire from outside, draining them from everywhere. 7 triples already.
Okay, almost slipping. Managed to hold his right foot in place, though, and just the little lob. Can't get it in over the iron, and Harris brings it down the floor. Walker. No surprise, they've got players ready on that three-point line. Jansen goes inside and is able to finish through McBurney Griffin.
Hiram Harris gets a cheap over-the-back call for his third personal. Aggressive move there. I don't know if there was a ton of contact. Didn't look too bad from here, but it must have looked worse from up close, and I suspect Hiram Harris will be done for the half now.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones, you can't stop the guy's enthusiasm. He does play at 100% the whole time, but when you're on 2 fouls this early in the second quarter, maybe trying to go over the back of someone in that situation is not ideal. Moss trying to heat up a little.
I don't blame Hiram for that one. I blame the coaching staff for putting him in this early in the game that you're in control. You know, he's going to play the way he's going to play. You have to understand that as Devondrick Walker gets himself on the board with a nice finish and the look off before hitting it off the glass of the layup.
Moss around Walker. Nuggets just playing minutes here without Sam Timmins on the floor and Vague.
Well, nice drive by McKay there to create some offense when there isn't a bunch as Sam Timmins checks back in after a quick break, because the offense really gets stagnant without him as a threat down low. They can load up the entire D against Moss, really worry about him and force these other guys who are solid players but not really creators on the offensive end. They're more grinding it out guys or need to have things created for them.
So the Hawks, 21 of their 29 have come from beyond the arc. Such as their reliance on that shot at this stage of proceedings, and if they continue to drop, rest assured they'll continue to keep looking. And again, they've got so many offensive weapons, Casey Frank, that you think Walker's not that involved. This man, Daron Ralkawa, you think's not that involved. Nice finish there over Timmins, but they've got so many guys that can heat up at any time. Roger running things for the Nuggets at the moment. Moss off the floor. Timmins on Jansen. Vague there to help as well. Roger from the corner, it's good.
Well, nice creation there by Sam Timmins on the fine. Difficult angle to get it, but showing his skills as a facilitator.
Roger on the fast break here. Or look at Vague lining him up, and Roger, well, thought he was good enough to go over. Too much on it, so Vague did try to talk him out of it.
That created because Daron Ralkawa complained to the refs, didn't get himself back in the play, was late to get that loose ball. Another shot for the Nuggets.
Great pass. Actually loses the handle though.
Daron Ralkawa, he's pushing for a technical foul the way he's yapping at these officials early. Timeout called to the Nuggets there.
I wonder sometimes, every now and then a referee could just help with the technical signal and the timeout signal, and
very close.
Maybe not have them quite so close in their appearance. So I did wonder whether you had effectively talked that tech into the game, Casey. You're right though. Daron Ralkawa getting a little distracted by the officials, which can happen in his game from time to time.
You know what they say, those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, so can't really believe I'm bringing it up.
But throw those.
You see it out there. You see it out there. It's certainly something that guys can get frustrated and distracted by when there's nothing you can really do about it. You're better off concentrating on the game, but you know, it's a lot easier to give advice than it is to take advice.
Happens at every level of the game. I don't know if you saw the Phoenix Nuggets this afternoon. Even the MVP of the NBA gets frustrated towards the end of a game that they're losing and gets himself a tech.
Well, he's a Euro. It's expected. Those Euros are all hotheads. Think they can get away with anything with the refs. And they get to yell at the refs in other languages and say a bunch of stuff that you can't get away with.
Yeah, it's they're in a hole though, aren't they? MVP might be out of the playoffs very soon.
Yeah, it's a tough break for the Denver Nuggets. You know, and the way they're playing, unfortunately not at full strength. And so be it at that level. If you don't have a full strength squad, it is nearly impossible to advance. Much like here, health is always key. And the Nuggets, I think, this year have been healthy with the shorthanded squad, which has helped them. And sounds like it was a T called on Daron Ralkawa.
That's what I say. I was watching two or three signals, and with the one free throw here, that certainly appears to be the case. So
T and a timeout. So he was threading that line and crossed over it, and to no avail. Doesn't get it. And Daron Ralkawa will be screaming justice as we have a couple of free throws.
Yeah, Bardsley now after the foul.
And that Bardsley was an integral part of the Nuggets championship run in the hub. a season ago. And he's carved out some nice time off the bench this year, but go easy on the backboard there, young fella. You need it for the rest of the game.
I think he might smash that glass with the free throw.
Looked like on the first one. Can he come back? Oh, look at that.
Made the adjustment. Don't want to gloss over the absence of a couple of these guys as well, in particular Everard Bartlett. Darryl Jones also missing, as well as Arthur Trousdale, but Bartlett's been a productive player for them off the bench. We know he can just bang, bang, bang. If he gets hot from three-point range, he can hurt you. So there's certainly one down in terms of their depth, aren't they, with Bartlett not there tonight. But if they keep shooting like this, Everard, you can rest easy watching this one if you are, because your boys have got you covered.
Well, the Nuggets are going to have to do some adjustments in this zone defense and do a better job of contesting and forcing these perimeter players to put the ball on the floor.
Timmins and Moss back out there. Here's Moss driving. And awkward little finish. That's why it rattled around and came out. Rusbatch finds Walker. Walker outside they go. Rusbatch again. That's great basketball. Just needed the finish. Good awareness. Just that extra pass. Finding the unmarked marksman in Rusbatch.
Just every time Sam Timmins takes a three-pointer, I just think to myself, what does the opposition really want him to do? Not be inside trying to score the ball. And yes, he's got confidence in the shot. Not as much confidence as that guy, Ethan Rusbatch, who hits triple number 5. And a timeout to the Nuggets because they got to talk about finding him in transition.
Well, I think there's got to be a pretty good chance whatever they finish up with can be divided by 3. The Hawks. They are shooting superbly from range.
And the Nuggets not communicative enough in the transition game defensively to try and get back there and find everyone. Need to really chat things through on these fast break opportunities. Match up early because the Hawks aren't running to the rim. They're running straight to that three-point line to get up another attempt. And it is, why not when you're shooting the ball like they are so far? Their 8th triple of the ball game. Make that 9, sorry, 9th triple of the ball game, and Ethan Rusbatch looks like he's got 6 of them.
6 of 10 for Rusbatch. He's going at 18.3 points per game on the season so far. You mentioned Casey had a couple of injury scares for a moment. I think we might have thought that it was a recurrence of that foot injury that's caused him so many issues over the last 12-18 months. It looks to be moving quite freely, and certainly he's got that shot humming now after a scratchy old start to the season.
Yeah, it's been a long time since he played a lot of basketball. And of course, with that injury, he missed the hub last season, so hadn't really played.
Trying to think of it, was it a plantar fascia?
Plantar fascia is what he was dealing with. Had some issues there, and it has reared its head back on him this season. Of course, it's a funny old injury, that plantar fascia. It's a lot of soreness, not something that can be done permanently, but certainly affects your gait and your ability to work around athletically.
Moss, what have the Nuggets got in response? Timmins.
Lovely help there by Reese Vague to come and take that away.
Rusbatch drives to the basket. He can also hurt you in the paint.
Up to 20. Ethan Rusbatch stroking it.
Aston on the floor for the Nuggets. Timmins. You've got to have strong hands to catch some of those Timmins passes. Moss now starting to warm up. Casey Frankie, you said it. They need him to.
Yeah, they certainly need to. He needs to find ways to generate offense. Only his 2nd bucket on 7 attempts. As Vague just dribbles right down the middle. Nobody guards him. Got to find something. This zone defense has done some good things for the Nuggets this year, but if you stay in it, teams will figure it out.
Aston, can he make his own triple? He can. As I say, that's very much part of his game if he gets that dialed in. Oh, that is poor from the Nuggets. Nobody looking over the shoulder.
Sam Timmins stops at the free throw line, looks around. He's the big man in the middle of that zone. He's got to get that first man back. He fails to do so, and Jono Jansen takes advantage.
Offense is the priority here for both teams. Oh, trying to almost pass that through the legs of Moss, and then he just throws it out of court. Rusbatch fired up, isn't he?
A little bit sloppy there by both teams. First, Devondrick Walker tries to squeeze one through. Isaiah Moss picks it up, and just enough defensive attention from Ethan Rusbatch to force a turnover. Hawks up 7, but it really feels like a bigger deficit that the Nuggets are going to have to climb out of, especially the way they're struggling to create high percentage opportunities.
Rusbatch couldn't believe it. He almost looked, someone's got to have a hand in front of me here, and he almost delayed it.
23 on 8 for 13 from the field. Might want to jump out of that zone, go to a box and one. Shut that man down.
No way to stop him at the moment when you haven't got a hand in his... Look out. Oh, and I don't think he could believe it again, Rusbatch.
He was thinking about that jumper already. Got to catch it first, though, young fella. Got to catch it first as the 10-point deficit doesn't get built upon because of sloppy play on both ends.
Timeout called here, and I'm not sure. I think this is from Kane Hokianga. So, of course, assistant coach of the Hawks, but having to look after the head coaching duties in the absence of the appointed head coach.
I think there's a lot of coaching by committee within that squad at the moment. See Kane on the outside there, the guys sort of talking about what they need to do, and certainly when they're able to, when the Perth Wildcat season is finished in Australia, I think this Hawks squad will be bolstered by an additional coach. Of course, Kane, full-time job as well as the acting head coach of the Hawks, and Brett Matahade, he's over there manning the spot by himself as well.
So a 10-point lead for the Hawks. Nuggets have just hung around. And I guess in the face of this hot three-point shooting, Casey, that's okay if you are able to just hang around somehow. It doesn't feel like they've really got it going, but they're only down 10, and you think the Hawks might cool off at some stage.
Yeah, but the cooling off is going to have to be caused by some firemen on the Nuggets squad. They're going to have to start determining the action defensively. Right now, the Hawks are the aggressors in all aspects. They're aggressive defensively. They're forcing the Nuggets into shots and offensive maneuvers that they're not really looking for. And until the Nuggets put that shoe on the other foot and become the aggressors themselves, I think the Hawks will be determining the flow of this game.
Interesting also that whether it's related to Bartlett's non-appearance tonight, but Ethan Rusbatch has not sat down yet. As Rokawa with the little floater, no good. Aston comes away with it.
Passes it to himself there. Gets away with it somehow.
Weariness may become a factor for Rusbatch, and temptation, of course, when he is shooting so well, is indeed to leave him on the floor. But could that see him have to pay a price later in this game? Rusbatch, a little fake, then the shot. Well,
never
if he pays a price later on.
First of all, never ever take that dude out. You are crazy taking a dude out who's as hot as this right now. Leave that fella in. Let him shoot as much as possible. And Ethan Rusbatch is one of the most finely tuned athletes in this league. He works as hard as anybody to keep his conditioning up. He can go ahead and play 40 if he needs to.
Okay, let's see how he goes in the last 5 minutes. The Nuggets respond. This is a shootout here. The Hawks are already at 52 minutes left in the second quarter.
Let's find Ethan Rusbatch the ball again. Can we get him the ball again to Roan? No, I'm going to take it myself. Why not? Oh, blows the bunny after a beautiful move.
And of course, what starts to happen is they do try and make the adjustment as Aston comes up short. And other players may well have an opportunity as Rokawa feeds Jansen. Nice finish. A little bit of dance work there, just a turn and kiss it off the glass. Steal here now. Timmins has had it taken away from him. Vague won't catch that, though. Open the door, someone.
Well, the transition opportunities that the Hawks are creating just by their bigs running hard are really what you like to see. The Jono Jansen previously, he out-sprints, outworks everybody, creates that opportunity, so Rokawa can lob it up nicely for that finish there. And Reese Vague on this occasion, although he couldn't track it down, creates another chance there as Ethan Rusbatch, in call to you, heads to the bench for the first time this game, which I'm telling you, with a minute 35, stay out there, get some more triples up. You are hot. You've got 26 points right now, Ethan Rusbatch. If I'm the coach, I am not sending him to the bench.
But
he's half my buckets.
And I hear you, Casey, and I wonder if, in fact, it's just the 12-point margin now that's given them a degree of comfort. Maybe Kane Hokianga thinks, I will get him a rest. I will get him a rest.
Sam Timmons takes his eye off the basketball. So Sam Timmons, you're on the block. You've got somebody behind you. Demand that basketball. Don't expect it not to come. He takes his eye off, starts walking up, and as the pass comes in, it just floats out of bounds. Multiple unforced errors here by the Nuggets contributing to this Hawks lead.
It's been a scratchy 2 or 3 minutes from the Nuggets for sure. But they finding themselves on the wrong end of a 3-point blitz here. Hokianga, what an easy team to coach at the moment.
Easy on the court, I think. A lot of personalities on that squad. It's a lot of personality that it certainly, I think Kane's well suited as well suited certainly as any interim head coach could be. But there's a lot of guys out there who have a lot of opinions about things that you would certainly have to manage a lot of that as the head man. The Nuggets, on the other hand, playing their second game in 3 days, second road game. You know, had a big win in Christchurch the other night, but need to find a way to dig deep, get some energy going. And right now, they are just being outworked. Sam Timmons just gives that rebound up.
Rokawa gets in on the party as well, and look at the biggest cheerleader is Russ Batch on the bench.
Yeah, he's loving it. He's a great teammate, certainly, and the Hawks are just playing with petrol at the moment. Everything's burning.
Nuggets need to find some composure. They have not had anything go their way the last 3 or 4 visits down the floor. They just need a settler. Kevin McBurney, as he hooked, he has. They rule it out. He just hooked with that lead arm.
I like it. Nice, aggressive move, but with the size advantage he had there, he probably didn't need to use the hook. Jacob Murphy, love his athleticism, love his grit, but he's a younger player. Kevin McBurney Griffin had such a strength and size advantage. He didn't have to use that chicken wing. When he did, he gave the refs an opportunity to make that call. His thrown Aruakawa watches it bounce out of bounds, stays with the Hawks.
40 seconds left in the half. And that lead I mentioned just moments earlier, that the Nuggets were doing well just to hang around at 10 points, but at 16, this could get ugly going into the half. If they concede, could very quickly be down by 20 here, maybe more. Jansen with another triple, that's too long. Rebound for the Nuggets. And not too much separation between shot clock and game clock here. They might, they've turned it over again. Well, coming into this game, Casey Frank, the Nuggets 155 turnovers in 10 games, and that is just too many.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they've got 9 already at the half, so looking to beat that number this evening. And they're not forced errors. You know, you can sometimes forgive turnovers when they're aggressive, but these are just simple plays where guys just aren't giving the attention to the game that they need to. Last shot opportunity for Daron Aruakawa and the Hawks here.
Something they've drawn up, no doubt. The instructions, the pass to Vay, kicks it back out. Aruakawa with the little jumper. They might get another look. No, Walker loses his footing.
Looks like he injured himself there.
Yeah.
I thought he's okay.
Yeah, he just stumbled a little, looked a bit awkward, but it's been far from awkward, though. That man, the number 12, Ethan Rusbatch, has everything going his way. His shot is sweet. They are dropping, and he leads all scorers with 26 points, 8 of 12 from 3. The Hawks lead it at the half, 56-40 over the Nuggets. Welcome back at halftime here at Pettigrew, and it is the Hawks. Well, they're leading, but they're entertaining as well, and the margin has extended. They lead by 16, and it's on the back of some sharp shooting led by Ethan Rusbatch. 26 points, 9 of 14 shooting, but he is 8 of 12 from 3, and he is just playing like a superstar, Casey.
He is, but they are as a team. The way that they're playing together, they're just shooting the ball really, really well. 13 for 23 from the three-point line, only 7 for 16 from 2, nearly made more threes than 2 points attempted, and that's just a great job. You see the rebound count. You don't see Sam Timmons in as involved as he needs to be. He's had a 20 rebound game this season. Having 2 rebounds at the half in 18 minutes just is not good enough in a game where the Hawks are trying to knock him out of it. And of course we see the assist man. Look at the sharing of the basketball for Walker and Ruakawa.
Yeah, the ball handlers with 6 apiece at the half. That really is a great indication of the makes that their teammates are making, but also their vision, the ability to understand who's hot and find that hot hand.
Yeah, I think with the Hawks, it's whoever's got the ball on that side of half court, they're going to let it fly. They're playing an up and down style. As you see the steal, Sam Timmons getting himself involved there, but there's to be a Nuggets comeback in the second half. It depends on Moss. It depends on Timmons. They're really going to have to get involved offensively and shoulder that load to carry them back into it. And defensively, I think they're going to have to look for something outside of the 2-3 zone. That is just giving up too many opportunities open on the three-point line.
Yeah, and they may well be relying on the Hawks cooling off a little as well. But you said it, they've got to be the ones to cause that.
Yeah, they can't hope that they just start missing some open looks, because this is a team that's built around shooting. If those looks aren't contested, if you're giving up and late in those contests, there's going to be a lot more going down than are going off.
Hiram Harris with 3 fouls, but at the moment that's no concern given the scoreline and the way his teammates are playing. We're back in a moment with the second half here in Hawke's Bay, and it is the Hawks in control by 16. Welcome back, Andrew Dewhurst alongside Casey Frank as we continue our coverage of the Sal's National Basketball League, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes. The Hawks are absolutely flying towards, if nothing else, and it could be a whole lot more than that, of course, for the win, but they look like they'll very much take the lead with a couple of games still to be played tomorrow in the race for the three-point lead. Remember, the team that makes the most threes in a game, $500. And currently it's the Giants with 16 against the Airs. So I think they might get there.
That one up.
I think they might get there with 13 at the half.
Yeah, it's, I don't think there's a question about that one. I don't see the Nuggets, even if they played the defense of their lives, holding this team to less than 4 3-pointers in the half. So the Hawks will be looking to extend the transition game, really keep the pace up. The Nuggets have been trying to slow it down, but the zone hasn't been the answer to that. They're going to have to find some answers elsewhere in half-court defensively as this man continues to fire. Sees if he can't continue it in the second half. 26 points in the first, and he's looking for some quick releases like that one in the second half.
He's, we both know him well, Casey. He's been on Tall Black tours, and prior to that, New Zealand Select. You've described him pretty accurately already tonight. Not only his obvious basketball ability, such a good team guy. He's a good locker room guy, brings a lot of energy, loves his basketball, plays it, I think, for the right reasons as well. He's had these injury concerns over the last 18 months or so. Is that pretty much what's kept him away from the NBL? I mean, with that shot, with that quick release, or is it any other frailties in his game that keeps him away from that top level?
Offensively, his skill set is fantastic and certainly available to shine on that side. I think defensively is where the questions come up for Ethan Rusbatch. You know, he's had opportunities to prove himself in that stead, and I don't think he's where he needs to be a consistent contributor in game time, and I think that's what's hurt him. But when you've got a flame like that, there is a spot for you somewhere on the league, certainly, and he's just got to keep igniting it and work on those other aspects of his game, and hopefully he'll get another shot at that next level soon.
Do you like the way that Hawke's Bay have pretty much established their identity as a team, as a roster? They're not big, are they? They don't have guys that are necessarily going to rock and roll in the paint. Do you like the fact that they've got this identity? They're going with it?
Well, I think their size isn't too bad. I mean, it's not as big as the biggest teams, but Reese Vague sits in there at 6'8", Jordan Hunt in there at 6'8", Jono Jansen, he's played admirably at that 5 spot despite being more of a 4, around 6'7" himself. So they've got enough guys, but certainly all those bigs that they have are mobile. So they're building on the style that Coach Zico Cornell brought to the Hawke's Bay last season. They're playing that now as they wait for their head coach to come across. But you know, with the kind of speed you have, and there are some better, more talented bigs in the league this year, that speed is a great counter to that size and can really make those bigs work hard and nullify their effect on the game.
Okay, is there anything you haven't said that we think Brent might have said to his team during the halftime? What are they looking for to get back into this?
Well, number one, take better care of the basketball. Careless turnovers, so that you're not going to get in a game if you're turning over carelessly. And two, can we match their energy and level? Do we want this win? Can we play like it? Can we get into a physical battle and make things difficult for them? Right now, the Hawks are dictating the action, and we're letting them dictate it to us. When are we going to dictate to them with our physicality and with our effort that we've come here for a win, not just to ride along for the show?
And he is such a good communicator, so I'm sure the message has been heard. Let's see if they're able to heed that message and make the necessary change.
And I think offensively, they really need to find a way to get Isaiah Moss involved. Certainly the Hawks have been focusing on him and trying to take away his opportunities, but they've got to find a way to get him off of a couple of screens and get him the basketball in positions where he feels comfortable attacking this Hawke's Bay defense.
Nuggets with it all to do here in the second half. The Hawks are in control, and they lead by 16. We'll keep you up to date with the score as Timmins didn't want to go upstairs. I thought he had pretty good position there and look for the pass. They'll get the inbounds here, still with time on the clock.
Well, he caught that a little deep. He's underneath the rim, so he was kind of pinned down and had an extra defender in the backboard there, but I would like to see a better angle tried for the pass.
56-40 is the margin. Moss to Timmins. That one off the chest And out of bounds, so yet another turnover.
Well, you love the unselfishness from Moss, but I'd like to see him try and just go up and get himself involved. You know, he's forced those big defenders to come over and get him. If you don't have the lob opportunity that Simmons there, it's always tough to fire a bullet to a big man at close range. You got to question their ability to catch those fast ones.
Walker for Rusbatch, no. Yeah.
Called that one early.
Yeah, well, no. I was kind of no with a tone that could have been yes. But,
there was no yes in that tone. There was no yes whatsoever. But a quick shot, and the Hawks still taking advantage whenever the Nuggets defense slips, if even so be it temporarily.
I kind of had a Malkovich moment. I was kind of in Matahiri's head there for a second, that if the first made basket in the second half is a Rusbatch 3, oh dear.
I would definitely not be listening to the scout at halftime.
It's an offensive foul. This must be on Jansen, is it?
Legal screen called there. Jansen just runs back. Didn't look like too much in it, but might have gotten a chicken wing in there, as the Nuggets now get a second chance to cut it to the 16-point deficit.
They've got to be very efficient. Timmins, good pass. Moss, has he got the finish? Yes, he has. That's a combination they need to look for.
Well, nice pass there, and Timmins not really threatening the rim, but the defense still shifted to adjust to his presence down low.
And that's where these assists have been coming from, haven't they, for Timmins? The ability to see the floor and make those passes using that height to his advantage. Walker kicks it back out here. Vague comes up short.
For the first time today.
Yep. And Rusbatch having missed as well. Jansen on the baseline off the glass. Too much on it. So a couple of opportunities here for the Nuggets. They've had a couple of stops and need to make another basket here and feel like they're making some inroads. Timmins with 3, too much on it. McKay can't get the rebound. Raukawa with that little half-back pass. Timmins says, I don't care whose house we're in. And on the
take the air out of it.
Foul is called.
Sam Timmins volleyball spikes that one. They might need to get the ball pump out. That's going to be not quite as much ball pressure inside of that one after the way he pashed it against the backboard. Devondrick Walker begging for a foul and a good counterattack. See if that doesn't spark this Nuggets defense a little bit.
If you're coaching the Nuggets, Casey, is the message going to be that clear? Are you saying, Sam, no threes? Do not take the three ball?
Well, personally, I think I prefer to see him down low. Yeah, he has the ability to shoot it, but he's not a 50-60% free-point shooter. And you know, it's a simple question. If the opposition is happy that you're doing that thing, let's not have you do that thing. Let's put you down low. Yes, keep working on expanding your game, but until this is a knockdown shot that you're going to hit every time, you know, it's just not something that I would want him focusing on.
Jansen, they were slow to get out there, but all of a sudden, maybe the cellophane's still across the top of that hoop, because the Nuggets struggled, and now the Hawks have struggled at the start of the second half to make a bucket.
And this is a matchup I think the Nuggets can take advantage of in the interior. 0 for 4. Sam Timmins now loving that three-point shot. He's lucky I'm not coaching him.
Needs to fall out of love with it pretty quickly. Raukawa, Vague, Timmins late, and Vague goes through, makes the basket.
Nice move by Vague there. He's really using his body to shield himself from the shot blocking ability of Timmins and finish there.
Roger, little hand there from Rusbatch.
Couldn't find Aitchison open in the corner. As the Nuggets send in pay for Momiosia. See if he can bring some energy and athleticism. Whoa.
That was a loose pass from Timmins at the back of the Hawks player. Rusbatch goes to the hoop and Moss has to foul.
Like the aggressive move by Ethan Rusbatch in transition, just attacking the rim, not giving the defense a chance to get set. On the other end, Sam Timmins is trying to use his quickness along that baseline against these double teams, but that's taking him out of position to be a scoring threat, and it's also making those passes really difficult to complete unless he's got somebody dragging to that opposite corner. And so far, hasn't been a lot of that, as Rusbatch loves a three, hates the free throw.
Why can he just go back beyond the arc here?
He cannot. He's got to stay in that semicircle. It's the rule.
He should ask, because can't make either free throw. Harris is back out on the floor. A reminder, he's on 3 personal fouls. And if this scoreline tightens up, that becomes an issue for the Hawks. But so far, not a problem for them. And pushing foul here called, trying to get Timmins right over that baseline. Might go on Hunt.
Hunt does a decent job of forcing him out of his pocket for that shooting opportunity, but then just gets a little bit too aggressive when he's got him pinned down underneath the rim with nowhere to go. Good chance to go straight into the post again, and they do.
Double team arrives, and another foul. Is this on Harris? Harris is nervously watching.
I think that one's on Hunt.
Okay,
yeah.
on Hunt.
Yeah, it looked like Hunt got a little bit too aggressive there. A couple in a row. And I love Hiram Harris, and he can certainly affect the defensive energy of this Hawks team despite having 3 fouls. He really is a difference maker, not just for this team, but in this league.
Moss almost turned over the pass from the ref. Roger Moss outside, just slipped. Was thinking of the 3. Timmins backs Hunt down, and just too big, too strong.
That's what I like to see. Take your time, take it to the middle. No doubles coming. Well, I'm going to get to my shot, and I'm going to take it.
And they're just eating into. Oh, they leave Vague all alone, and don't they know he loves a bit of space out there?
Well, he missed that last one, so maybe they thought he'd miss another. But to no avail, hits his 5th three-pointer of the ball game.
Timmins needs help, finds it in Roger Moss. Shot clock counting down. We need to get something up here. McKay into the paint, turns, little fall away jumper. Timmins overdoes it, chasing the rebound. And Harris brings the basketball down the floor for the Hawks. Outside they go. Walker all the time in the world for Devondrick Walker. And McKay can't grab the board, but he does grab a piece of Hunt.
You see 4 gold jerseys in there. Timmins is down all the way at the other end with the ball still up for grabs. Big fella, you got to corral. This is your job. You're the one who's in charge of the boards there. You got to get him, especially down 15. Got to get the stops first. Hunt takes advantage of the lack of size, gets the offensive rebound, and tries to convert from the 3-point line.
Jordan Hunt, not many minutes in the first half, so we're struggling to break into this rotation. And final MVP from the showdown last year. And a couple of changes there. I thought momentarily time out, but no, it's just McKay and Roger heading for a drink and a towel.
Get a little break. Most guys circling through the bench for the Nuggets, with the exception of Sam Timmins and Isaiah Moss, who spent a lot of time out there today.
Darcy Knox in the game, wearing the number 6. Timmins out wide, no look pass. Knox, Moimosia, and look at the hustle from Moss getting that rebound. Came from a long way out.
I'd love to see a scorer create opportunities for himself like that. Timmins nearly getting another steal. He has been active in the passing lanes. But back to Isaiah Moss, when you're not shooting the ball well, when you're not getting a lot of opportunity, do that. Attack the offensive glass. Find a way to see that ball go through the hoop and get that confidence up, get that rhythm going. See if it can't lead itself to something else on the perimeter.
Players just slipping a little. Sort of happening more often than not, as Harris can't make the basket, but just 2 or 3 times we've seen players lose their footing.
Well, Hawks haven't been playing well, but the Nuggets haven't been able to take advantage and dig into this deficit. Need to start doing so now.
Kiva McBurney Griffin overcooks his one off the glass. They've had their opportunities. Rusbatch been largely looked after. Just a little bit of hang time there for Rusbatch, makes the 2.
He does a good job against Darcy Knox there, of bumping him off and creating some space for the runner, as he's up to 28 now.
Timmins up high. Good pass. Can't get the finish though. Hiram Harris just too big, looming there right under the basket.
Simmons created opportunity, but Paif Moimosia didn't have confidence to go to straight up.
Hiram Harris driving with the right hands. And this is a little sloppy from both teams here in the second half. The efficiency certainly fallen away. Moss, well, that looked awkward. Says he got a push. That's why it was awkward, but he made it.
That's I wish the offensive game I had looked that awkward at times. That is a nice little side floater he creates there, and he's starting to find some space as he's up in the double figures.
It's the balance, Casey. Just managed to shift the ball from one hand to the other while he was in the air.
13 for him now.
Hunt with a wraparound pass that didn't have enough around.
Shot clock short. Got to get it up.
No, they rule it out. So referees had an eye on that shot clock counting down. And multiple changes here for Brent's Matahari as Timmins heads for a breather.
Tyrone Arokawa checks back into the ball game, letting his team know what kind of defense they're set up in. I'm still waiting for Tyrone to let the hair out. I want to see him play with the full hair in display. I think it would do wonders for his game.
And now that is something you can provide some commentary
Definitely.
on.
Let it go.
Some advice.
Let it go. Man, like a wild stallion you are. Well, it's a 15-point deficit. The Nuggets playing better defense here in this quarter. Have held
9 points.
Yeah, to the Hawks to just 9 points in the quarter, but only been able to score 10 themselves. They haven't been able to capitalize on the opportunity. The offense still just sputtering just a bit. The double teams on Sam Timmins taking away those opportunities, and the Hawks have done a nice job of shutting down these penetration lanes for the most part, and not really giving the Nuggies a lot of easy shots.
Casey, our director just gave you the perfect opportunity to talk about referees. You just completely ignored it.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. You know, the best thing you can say about a referee during a game is nothing. You know, you don't want them to be impacted. No, I mean, I don't want to spend any time talking about the refs. I want them to do their job and make good calls and hopefully become part of the background. I certainly don't want I want to talk about the players, man. The players are the coaches.
You made them part of the background. I hear you. If you can get through a game and not have to mention them, I think it's the same in any sport, isn't it?
I think that's what they want too. They're not trying to enforce their will on the game. They're just trying to do the best job they can and make calls as they see them.
Call what's in front of them. So the Nuggets just need to, I don't know how many times I've said it so far the Sal's National League, but in this sort of a situation, if the team that's behind can just get to that single figures or 10 or 11 down going into a quarter, that I feel like they're in the game, in with a chance. Harris comes away with it. Oh, lovely little shake of the hips and a feint one way and goes the other with a finish.
I love Hiram Harris's game. I love his aggressiveness, and he really does get the most out of his effort levels. Woo, that is pure Isaiah Moss, one of the sweetest shooting players in the league. Shows why there. He is at the top of the MVP voting and drains a sweet triple to cut it to 14.
They need a couple of stops. A lot of coaches talk about three. Make 3 stops. Oh, that is. He makes it look so much easier than that was.
Well, he has a really nice ability to float and wait for the defenders to come down. He's not the highest jumper, but he does have some great hang time in there. He's getting a little chippy with Jeremy McKay at the same time.
There's a little game within a game going on. We'll keep an eye on that. That pass was
that works. That's the guy you want to find anyway.
Yeah, eventually it got to the right guy. They get another 14 seconds. McKay kicks it out. Aitchison for 3. Need a couple of these to drop. If that one does, they're 13 down and feeling good. Well, better than they have been. Hunt.
And even when they play good defense, they can't take advantage of the loose ball. And that kind of night for the Hawks, they are beating the Nuggets to everything. Maybe a little bit of fatigue setting in for them.
That time, the little hang time wasn't enough, and Olkar was put his hand in the cookie jar and got caught out. Well, so far, I mean, we intimated it was a done deal, but the Giants are hanging on to their $500. The Hawks with just the one made 3 in this quarter, so they're on 14. The Giants with 16.
Yeah, it's searching out for that N1 splash for cash. Everybody wants to get that one. As Andrew mentioned earlier, $500 to the team that makes the most 3-pointers in the game this year. And I'm still confident. I'm still confident the Hawks are going to be at the top of that tally by the end of this one. Keegan McBurney Griffin hits the first 3. or free throw.
And I mean, I guess we credit the Nuggets a little bit here, do we? They've shut those opportunities down. Then not that many looks from outside for the Hawks.
Yeah, I think personally, I think it's more aspect. The effort level's a little bit better, but the Hawks just haven't been as efficient on the offensive end. They haven't been executing the same level. I think they've gotten a little bit farther into one-on-one basketball, not letting the ball do the work. But where the Nuggets have done a nice job is in transition. They haven't given up as much opportunities, which is where the Hawks found a lot of that success in the first half.
Rusbach is back on the floor. Is this number 15? It is.
That's the kind of execution you see. That's a perfectly run play. Ethan Rusbach does a nice job of running Isaiah Moss off multiple screens to create that for himself. And now he is sitting on 31 points with 9 3-pointers by himself. 9 for 14 from the line.
Looking for a response. Roger can't find it. That's come off. Well, I thought it came off Rusbach.
Yeah, I agree. Isaiah Moss trying to say the same thing. That's off the leg. From the angle we had, certainly looks like that's what happened. But regardless, the Hawks will try and build on this 17-point lead. Moss heads to the bench.
Now, if Ethan Rusbach can make 17 threes, does he
impressive.
take the N1 500 himself?
I'll tell you what, if I hit 17 threes in a game and there's $500 cash coming to the team that makes the most, I'm going to say, you guys, let's just give that one to me. I will carry that home. I don't know if that's the way it works, but that's the way I try and make it work.
Rusbach shut down for the moment. Jansen top of the key. And, with the attempt to put back, Hunt couldn't quite tap it in. Another opportunity for the Nuggets, but they're staying with the Hawks. But when you're down by 16 at the half, staying with a team's not enough. You've got to make a run at them, and they've just not been able to do it.
Largely trying to force an attendance, can't get it done.
Hunt for 3, we're all level. 16, level with the Giants. So the next triple that falls, they will take the lead in the and one splash for cash. The Hawks.
Jordan Hunt, nice job out there running the lane, finding himself in the corner. And he certainly can stroke it from the perimeter. One of the most impressive aspects of his game.
Final look here, perhaps, for the quarter. Timmins puts up a right-handed shot that really was nowhere near it. Rusbach got time to get to the glass. He has.
Well
great
done.
recognition, Ethan Rusbach.
Well played, Rusbach.
And that ends the quarter. I'm not sure the buzzers are all that loud here in the stadium, but the referees are onto it. Ethan Rusbach finishes the quarter with a lovely touch off the glass, and he is dominating this one as the Hawks have extended going into the final quarter.
There's a lot to be said about enquiries. You like breaking new ground? You're the best in your field? Stand up for what you believe in. But when it comes to pizza, you can't beat authenticity. Sal's, authentic New York pizza.
Sal's National Basketball League, proudly presented by GJ Gardner Homes, and delighted to bring this one to your living room, I don't know, wherever you are with the mobile device. Sky Sport Next bringing you coverage, of course, also Sky Sport of the Sal's National League. Plenty of action to follow every weekend. And on this occasion, it is the Hawks absolutely blowing out the Nuggets when missing Bartlett, missing Jones off the bench. Perhaps the Nuggets might have sniffed an opportunity.
Well, halfway through that quarter, the Nuggets were winning that quarter 10-9, and from that point on, they got outscored 12-5. So Strong finish by the Hawks to take a commanding 22-point lead into the fourth quarter.
Rusbatch, is this the shot? Well, he's going to go and have 3 cheapies to have a go.
Added to his 33-point total. Of course, the free throw line, the only place he hasn't hit a shot yet today. 0 for 2 on an earlier trip there, so just hoping to hit a couple and add to his total now.
The first time that Rusbatch has got hot, of course, in the Sales National Basketball League. He's been around the scene for a little while now and always had that 3-point shot in his arsenal, but wouldn't be too many other occasions where it has been as finely tuned as it is tonight. And Aitchison thought he only had 2.
And went for the box out, Ethan Rusbatch. Always a comedian, has a little fun with it.
Chatting away. Maybe that's the key on the free throws. Just talk your way through them.
That's Ethan's key on life. He's not going to change it in the game.
Yeah, or talking or singing or cutting hair. Well established, of course, as the Tall Blacks barber on tour. Clippers are always there in the bag. The boys love that.
So always good to feel a fresh cut. Personally, I like to let things go a little loose on tour. And didn't want to feel clean. Appreciate it the other way, but everybody's got to find their zone.
Timmins, Moss. Too much to ask here, you would think, as Aitchison can't make the 3. This is just all about trying to feel a little bit better about themselves on the journey home. Rusbatch misses, looking for another 3, and a 3 ball that would put them into the lead of the N1 splash for cash. Not on that occasion, though. At the moment, $250 a piece, the Giants and the Hawks.
And 9 minutes to rectify that for the Hawks.
Timmins, Aitchison cuts the baseline, but shut down by Jansen. Good pass.
Well, good patience shown. I thought Aitchison should have looked to go up with that, but slowing it down and looking for his teammates is rewarded by a Richie Rogers cut. And slowly the Nuggets try and chip away.
Tyrone Hokianga just forces his way into a shooting spot. No good though. Roger, good vision. McKay, little pirouette blocked there by Jansen. Got a hand in there.
Back-to-back blocks by Jansen. JJ with the BB, block to block on one possession. Nice timing shown.
And they compound the issue, do the Nuggets, conceding a foul. Chance for Kane Hokianga to perhaps look to his bench, go a little bit deeper in this one. Maybe.
Yeah, he's not doing that.
A little early at the moment, but
he's leaving the starters in there. He is.
Give a couple of kids maybe 3 or 4 minutes at the end, as you say, Casey. A little bit early here.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time in this one, and he will go to the guys. Tyrone Hokianga still having a little chat. Looks like he's picked up another technical.
So he's out of the building.
So that's him. He's waving. He just did the wave.
See you, Tyrone.
See you, Tyrone. Good evening.
Wow.
And that is his day. He was arguing a foul call on the other end on that missed jump shot. He was really pushing it. And, you know, sometimes discretion, the better part of valor. Just go ahead and let it go in a 22-point ball game.
What? Maybe his.
Once again, advice I could never take myself.
Yeah, and maybe his brain is actually saying, well, do you know what? We're up by 22. I'll give it a crack here. I'll leave the boys to finish this.
Go take a shower, get ready. Hit the thirsty whale, see what's happening in the bay.
Walker, vague, and Jansen with the 3 ball, and there we go. Splash for cash. Hawks take the lead. 17 made threes.
And one splash for cash. We've got a new leader in the clubhouse.
Timmins, good defensive job by Jansen.
Well, the Hawks have just come out and been clinical in their game plan. Keeping the pace high, taking the ball out of the 2 main offensive threats for the Nuggets, making things really difficult for Timmins and Moss, and that has been a recipe for a big lead here coming towards 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Timmins again. Jansen's done a good job sneaking across. Was Rusbatch gets a hand in there.
Timmons turning and spinning into the defense there. Had excellent position for the first shot, but not comfortable going up to the left from that depth. And they're going to have to get one up quickly here with short shot clock.
Shot away quickly enough, but not accurately enough. Hiram Harris with those early fouls has been able to play without getting himself into worse trouble. Jansen just picked the ball up.
Yeah, 3 or 4 dribbles. It might have been a double dribble, but he gets away with it.
Vague. And Jansen's not going to look back on this 12 seconds or so as a real highlight.
Yeah, well, now if I'm Kane Hokianga, maybe I will be putting the subs back into the game. It might be time to get the bench in there, as the starters and Jono Jansen are having a bit of a comical possession on this one.
Great pass, Harris. Vague through Timmons. Good finish.
Oh, I like that set on the baseline. And Reese Vague sets a solid screen and cuts hard to create himself an opportunity.
Turnover. It's been the story of, well, one of the stories. Why wouldn't you step back for the 3? I think he might have ended up with a toe on the line after all that. Didn't go, didn't matter. McKay, hard to the hoop, dishes it off for Timmons. Rusbatch, this is turning into a bit of a practice scrimmage now.
Yeah, the Nuggets have dropped off the intensity. They're not playing like a team that believes they can win this one. There's Devondrick Walker takes that one from where Skywalker lives. Yeah, that was deep. That was out there in the depths of space.
Vague, little up fake, sends Roger into row 3 and then makes 3.
Just a practice shot there for Reese Vague, as he hits 20 points now with his 6th three-pointer of the ball game.
It's been a pretty good double act, hasn't it? Vague and Rusbatch.
Yeah, not bad from the triple line. 18 three-pointers in the M1 splash for cash. That is going to be difficult to catch for the rest of the league.
So the Nuggets are going to have to lick their wounds and head back to the locker room, to the training gym, and try and figure out what they can do a little better against opposition of this quality. And that's one of the keys, that against a team of this quality, sometimes it's what they let you do, what they let you get away with. Devondrick Walker goes upstairs. A little bit of showtime maybe over the final 6 minutes here, as the Hawks now, it's just a question of what is the margin going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be big. Be pretty surprised if the starters or Sam Timmons spends too much more time out there, as the Hawks have well and truly ran away with this one.
Pressure up the floor from the Nuggets, so still showing plenty of ticker. Still their energies perhaps not always focused in the right way. Jansen finds his way into the paint somehow. Threatened to lose that dribble again.
Just had that size advantage. He's up to 9 points with 8 rebounds. Playing very well as he slides to the bench after starting the majority of the season. He's acclimated himself quite nicely.
Again, just fascinating, isn't it? The committee that's running the team, and Kane Hokianga having the wherewithal to allow that to happen. He just comes into the huddle very late in the piece, but not trying to force his personality on the group. They're getting it done, aren't they?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a chat with Kane about what it's been like to have a head coach running things from that far away. And of course, I don't think when Kane put his hand up for an assistant coach role, he didn't expect this level of responsibility. Got close to the season, he's like, oh man, I've got some work cut out. But you know, certainly head coach isn't stepping on toes, but he's got some advice to give here and there. But thankfully for the Hawks, they are as talented as anyone. With their full squad, they might be the most talented team in the league, and they have put on a show tonight from that three-point line. When they shoot it like this, it is going to be a difficult ask for anyone to try and come and get this one. And the fans are loving it. They're having a great time working on the dance moves.
Still not quite brave enough to get out of the chair, but nonetheless, working on the moves.
Well, you never get out of the chair when you're in the corporate boxes. Free drinks, free food. Keep the libation coming.
Scared if you stand up, they might take them away. Still Timmins out on the floor. So it will be interesting to see at what point, if at all, Brent Matahari does pull the pin on this one. I think it was meant for a little alley-oop play, but Timmins finished anyway off the Kiva McBurney-Griffin pass.
That's why it's good to be 6'11". You don't have to jump for those lobs. Nice look by the young fella McBurney-Griffin. Timmins with the finish and continuing to chip away and add to his total. He's up to 15 points now.
Walker vague. Forced a long way outside the three-point line. Jansen had to go to work. Would have been another block, but for the foul that was called just prior.
Just a first personal foul on Sam Timmins this evening. And he will now head to the bench as the white flag has been well and truly flown by the Nuggets.
It's fair to say they go a bit smaller when Bardsley comes on for Timmins.
Kiva McBurney-Griffin will be moving to that 5 spot now, getting that matchup with John Jansen. But maybe the speed of this Nuggets 5 can do a little something to counter the big lead the Hawks have put on here.
Certainly it's going to be hard to go past Rusbatch and Vague for the lion's share of the MVP points in this one. Isaiah Moss coming into the game as the outright leader in the MVP race. He's just not really featured. A couple of times looked like he was getting into rhythm, but it's just not really gone his way.
Well, he has still finished with 16 points. He'll be the leading scorer in the ball game, but just 6 for 13. But the Hawks really did determine when he was getting his looks throughout the entirety. And the Hawks, they were the aggressors. Their strategy, they forced the Nuggets into things, as we see Luke Aston, nephew of Mark Dickel, apparently, from what I hear. Hits a jump shot there.
I did not know that. Vague. Rusbatch, ironically, being closed down. Just a little too late. Just bombed away for fun in that first half. Kicks it out for Vague. Vague. Oh, that is just so good, Reese. He might be pretty keen to catch Rusbatch here.
He's got a chance. He's got a chance with jumpers like that. He is playing well, as he is now 9 for 10 from the field for his 25 points. Friendly roll there.
Hawks 97. They're going to bring up the 100, you would think, with the better part of 3 minutes still to play. Such has been the offensive explosion, as we do now start to see some of the bench players get their opportunities.
Well, we have a look at the ladder now. The Hawks will move to 7-4 in a tie and wins with the Wellington Saints, who of course only have the one loss to their record, as Bardsley nearly turns it over, giving Aston a chance here. But the Otago Nuggets dropped to 6-5 and put themselves on 5 losses with the Huskies, who may or may not get a win this evening, and just one loss ahead of the Giants. So a lot of teams will be fighting for that 4th spot.
Hiram Harris with the finish. Tommy Ferguson out on the floor and made his presence felt.
The crowd loves it. They're loving to see the local young fellas checking into the ball game. They're excited about it.
The mascot.
The game's not over, buddy.
Oh, it's not a timeout, mascot. Now it is.
I think the mascot. He forced his hand.
Called the timeout.
I don't know where forcing your way onto the court gets you in Hugh Bainen's mascot rankings, but for me, it puts some pressure up. It definitely rises you up the rankings, if you're asking me. Well, just to talk about that ladder now, the Southland Sharks in first place at 9 wins. Of course, 3 losses. Wellington Saints in 2nd place at 7-1. The Hawks Bay Hawks will join them with 7 wins after this one, and 3 losses to their name. And of course, the Otago Nuggets will drop to 6-5, tenuously holding on to that 4th spot, mostly depending on what happens between a couple of teams, Auckland and Franklin, this evening. With We'll save that score just in case anybody is saving it right now and might watch it afterwards, but could be surprising.
Well, I mean, if anyone is saving it, it's a good save.
Yeah, it's a good save.
Look forward to watching it.
But yeah, not exactly sure where that's going to end up in the ladder, but it is a dogfight right now between really 4 teams, with the Jets on the outside looking in as that 5th team trying to fight into their way into the top 4 with that 4th spot.
Basketball's such a game of momentum and runs and swings and what have you. And in the context of that table as well, Casey, you look at the Sharks and the 9-3. I mean, they're on such a good run, 8 games unbeaten. So it's even better than the 9-3 looks, isn't it? They're feeling pretty good about life at the moment.
Well, just the 7. You're giving them an extra one. They've got 7 in a row.
Was it not 8 the other night?
No, it was 7 last night.
Oh.
but still playing quite well. And from their point of view, I mean, with a whole bunch of home games to finish up the season in a row, they'll be really liking what their chances are to get a decent seed heading into Porirua in the Final 4 for this season's NBL. And the young fellas attacking the rim.
Kobe Kara's out there on the floor. Also, Clifton Bush the third, who's had a couple of minutes early on in the piece. Tommy Ferguson, I've mentioned.
Jacob Murphy with maybe the best mullet in the league, is number 7 there, challenging Jared Kenny's mullet from last season.
For the Nuggets, they too getting some of their bench players out. Of course, the travelling side, though, they won't have quite the same number sitting and available, but Keitha McBurney-Griffin's played some minutes. And he'll finish this one, you would think. Luke Aston, Darcy Knox, Matthew Bardsley, Paif Momosia.
Well, just a little bit of back and forth, hoping, of course, nobody gets injured as this one counts down the last minute and a half or so.
Momosia with the 3 comes up short.
I think a lot of teams around the league would have circled this one to see what was going to happen. But as Mike Woodbridge throws the ball across court, I think a few people would be surprised as how easily the Hawks have handled the Nuggets this evening. Just completely dominant from that 3-point line from start to finish. Let's talk about it again. 19 for 35 from the 3-point line for the Hawks. 54% have hit more 3s than 2s, where they're shooting pretty well. 17 for 35, just under 50. So just a lightning hot shooting stroke from the Hawks this evening drive them to this victory.
Yeah, when you've got that talent and when it all comes together, it is such a weapon. And if you can shoot the 3 consistently and often across the roster and have so many players, that makes it tough to defend. So you live and die by that philosophy, though, and if they're not dropping, you've got to have a plan B. But they've not needed to go anywhere near B in the alphabet here tonight.
You don't need a plan B when you shoot the ball like that, as Paif Momosia hits a triple to make it, try and make it a little bit more respectable. A little bit more respectable.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. They're not going to be happy with this at all. Murphy for 3. Scramble for possession. Ferguson. Aston comes away with it, though. It's a final look for both teams here. Very much the B units out on the floor. And Momosia can't gather that one in.
Well, that should do it, as the Hawks may or may not take the final shot of this one with 20 seconds left. But a clinical performance, as these Hawks Bay Hawks are waiting for Jared Kenny still to join this team, which at this point, the Hawks playing good basketball have overcome some early season speed bumps and look to be flying high from this point forward as they throw the ball nearly out of bounds. That's going to be one careless turnover to end it, and we'll have an inbounds, and that'll be the ball game.
And so it is. So it is. The Hawke's Bay Hawks. What a performance in front of their home crowd. That's going to keep them coming back through the turnstiles for sure. Led by that man, Ethan Rusbatch, and Reese Vague not too far behind. I'm sure they will share the bulk of those MVP points tonight. Hiram Harris had early foul trouble, but wasn't really required on a night when his sharpshooters were draining threes for fun. Leading scorers Rusbatch with 36. Vague was closing in with 25. The majority of the points scored between those two from beyond the arc. And for the Nuggets, really, they just didn't get going. Moss and Timmins their best. Rebounding, Hawks had that advantage. Timmins grabbed a few lates when this was already a done deal.
Yeah, 47-38 on the rebounds, and then we see the assists. Walker and Orokawa 6 assists apiece at halftime, slowed down a bit, but they really did share with 23 assists on 3 of those as well. Ethan Rusbatch, I question his defensive efforts, but had 4 steals tonight, doing a nice job.
For him and leading his team to a comprehensive win here over the Otago Nuggets. Basketball to come. The Huskies and the Bulls are playing right now. Play the Rams and the Saints. On behalf of Casey Frank and our entire